In tonight's headlines, tasting returns to the Winter Food Festival while a cold snap continues to grip Hong Kong. John Lee visits the Temple Street Market to see for himself how businesses there are doing. And the United Nations Security Council adopts a resolution to increase aid to Gaza.
Wow, delicious! K-food! Korea food!
For the first time since the pandemic, visitors to the Winter Food Festival are able to taste free samples. The 5-day event opened at the Convention and Exhibition Center in Wan Chai this morning, with vendors expecting brisk business during the festive season. Apart from discounts, stalls are using various tactics to attract customers. Some are offering surprise goodie bags. Others are hoping to tempt visitors with exclusive dishes made in collaboration with restaurants that have been awarded Michelin stars. This vendor said although many Hong Kongers are spending Christmas on the mainland or overseas, he expects visitors to his stall to increase by 20 to 30% this year. Across the harbour, many people flocked to West Kowloon Station for high-speed rail services to the mainland. An extra 11 round trips between Hong Kong and Shenzhen are operating with tickets snapped up quickly. Some travelers were heading to northern China to ski, while many others will visit amusement parks. Some who remained in Hong Kong braved the cold to go to Tai Mo Shan. The temperature on the city's highest peak plunged to around 5 degrees Celsius at 5 a.m. The average temperature in the rest of Hong Kong this morning was around 6 to 8 degrees. As the winter monsoon is still affecting the South China coast, the observatory expects the cold snap to continue over Christmas, but it will get warmer in the middle of next week. Janice Yu, Cable News. The chief executive has visited Temple Street Market to see whether the addition of food stalls is a success. Vendors told John Lee, who was accompanied by Tourism Minister Kevin Yeung, that business is much better than they expected. Lee stopped by various stalls and bought traditional Chinese snacks like aeroplane olives and sesame rolls. He also had coffee at a Nepalese stall.
That's good for me to go on the whole night, through my work, non-stop.
From Temple Street, Lee made his way to the West Kowloon Cultural District to visit the Christmas market there. Speaking at the end of his tour of the two attractions, the chief executive said he felt the spirit of Christmas was in the air.
Traces of the African swine fever virus have been found in 4 pigs in a Yuen Long farm. Officials from the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department said around 2,800 pigs in the farm in Lau Fau San will have to be culled next week. Samples from farms nearby have been collected for testing. The department beefed up precautionary measures at all pig farms and said the culling would not affect the local pork supply.
Footage from a security camera captured a break-in at a claw machine outlet in North Point. A burglar was seen entering the premises on 4th Street at around midnight last night. The intruder destroyed 3 locks on a petty cash box and escaped with $20,000 in cash. Police were alerted when a person walking past the outlet at around 7 a.m. saw coins scattered on the floor.
12 people have been sentenced to between 26 and 56 months in prison for rioting. The defendants, whose ages ranged from 22 to 30, were found guilty of taking part in a riot near Chatham Road South and Chung Wan Road during the Polytechnic University siege in 2019. District Court Judge Josie Alam said the offense was serious and denounced their act as inconsiderate and a breach of public safety. It was particularly distressing, he added, that one defendant attacked a police officer with a hammer during the disturbance.
Friends of a hiker took him to Yanchai Hospital in Chunwan after he was attacked by a monkey. The 22-year-old was in the company of 2 other men and 2 women when they were surprised by the animal in Porlo-shan near the Shingmun Reservoir. The victim suffered hand scratches and was discharged from hospital after treatment. The Agricultural, Fisheries and Conservation Department warned people not to feed wild monkeys as they can become aggressive and attack humans to get food.
Israel has widened its ground offensive in Gaza and attacked the central area of the coastal strip. A video provided by Israel showed its forces taking part in military operations. In Rafah, which borders with Egypt, an airstrike killed 5 Palestinians, including a child. Another 18 Palestinians perished in an assault on a refugee camp in central Gaza. Over 20,000 Palestinians have lost their lives since Israel retaliated for a deadly Hamas attack in October. Efforts to secure another ceasefire faltered again in the United Nations, but the Security Council approved a watered-down resolution to increase aid to Gaza. 13 members voted in favor, while the United States abstained. Russia also abstained, saying it wanted an immediate truce.
Death is everywhere in Gaza, in its different manifestations: destruction, deprivation, disease. People are starving. They have no water, no food, no medicine, or barely any. The draft resolution that the Council voted on today is intended to help address this inhumane situation, to alleviate the untold suffering and pain being borne by millions of civilians.
Israel has been blamed for hampering aid deliveries to Gaza. This comes as more than 500,000 Palestinians stuck in the besieged enclave are facing famine.
The real problem is that the way Israel is conducting this offensive is creating massive obstacles to the distribution of humanitarian aid inside Gaza. An effective aid operation in Gaza requires security, staff who can work in safety, logistical capacity, and the resumption of commercial activity. These 4 elements do not exist. Resumption of commercial activities is essential. Shelves are empty, wallets are empty, stomachs are empty. Just 1 bakery is operating in the whole of Gaza. And I urge the Israeli authorities to lift restrictions on commercial activity immediately.
People from all walks of life have taken to the streets of the Argentine capital Buenos Aires to protest against the draconian economic reforms introduced by the new president Javier Milei. Social organizations, trade unions, and charity workers called for a nationwide general strike next week after the Security Ministry introduced a new protocol which prohibits blocking or marching on streets. According to government sources, the security costs of the Buenos Aires protest, during which large numbers of police were deployed, will be borne by the organizers and will not be funded by taxpayers' money. Milei, who took office less than 2 weeks ago, has vowed to cut public spending and privatize state companies.
France has pulled out all its troops from its former colony of Niger after providing military support to the African country for years. The last French military aircraft and soldiers left ahead of a deadline set by the West African state. The generals who rule Niger cut off ties with France after staging a coup in July. They also suspended military cooperation with other Western European countries and pivoted to Russia. Despite leaving Niger, Paris said its troops will continue to be involved in the crackdown on extremists in the Sahel region.